What's up, guys? Bob here, Bob Randall and Company Live Show for a Monday. That's right. Let me introduce the man sitting over here to this side of me. We call him Randall, and he is without any scandals. Me,
Okay.
me, all I can say for myself is I'm not wearing sandals at the North Pole. Forget it.
Ooh. Hi, everybody. Great to see everybody. Welcome to Monday, TGIM, like I say. Thank goodness this morning. I'm so glad you're here. Can't believe. Hi, Bob. Angela back there. Good to see you, Angela. I can't see you, but I know you're there.
She's there.
And of course, everybody on, thank you so much for joining us. Monday,
Yes,
Monday already. Monday already.
it is. And here we are. We find ourselves more than midway through May. We talked, the last few weeks about all the rain that we've been getting. Well, somebody reached up there and turned that faucet off, and in return, we get the heat and humidity. So today it's 89 outside, not a cloud in the sky. Heat index is around 90, 51% humidity. So it's sticky, it's hot, and it's bright out there. But you know what? It's a great break from clouds and the rain.
Yeah, we've had some good rain this afternoon. We had the old sky lit up there for a little while, some lightning, and then boom, crash and thunder. But it's back in the low 80s. It's other than that, it's beautiful again. So I'll take that. I'll take it. I'll take it. I love this warm
Well,
weather. Sit outside on the in the Florida room and just sit in my rocking chair and just. I was out there last night till after 11 o'clock. Just it was so comfortable.
oh, we were outside after 11 last night too. We've been doing home repairs, ripping out siding, doing some wood repair, removal and replacement actually. Tar papering, fixing studs. Seal plate had to be replaced. Old houses if they get a leak, you got to address it quick because if you don't, that's what happens, and it's my fault for letting it go. So anyway, out there late last night trying to beat the heat. Out there the last few days, all day long, it's been extremely hot, been about to melt, and so we decided after supper last night we'd go out and work the extra 2 or 3 hours, and it was a little bit better, not too bad. Anyway, that's
Still is
that's the
warm
fun
doing
I've
that
been
kind
having.
of physical work. That I mean, 80 degrees is still hard to do physical work in, but at least you didn't have the hot sun beating on you. But it just home improvement. There's always that stuff when you start it. You see this, then that happens. Like, oh, that's hidden behind there. And the worst thing is like, well, now this looks beautiful. We have to fix this now to match that. Um, I was helping a friend with the Florida room last week, and I didn't realize it had a leak in one area. So I painted the floor, concrete floor first. I get there the next day, and of course there was water, so it ruined the paint job. So I had to repaint the floor again. So it's just little things like that happen when you do that kind of stuff. But it sure looks nice now, though. It always looks
It
so good when
does.
you're remodeling. It really does. It gives you that great feeling of accomplishment when it's done. Frustrated
And
sometimes, but
progress that we've made has been rewarding so far. And you're right, when you start tearing into stuff, and you never know what's in behind this, and there's always going to be that chance of opening up that can of worms, and sometimes that happens, sometimes it does. In our case, it did. So what I thought I could do, in this amount of time is taking 3 or 4 times longer, but that's okay because it's going to be fixed, done, checked off the honeydew list. Let's put it that way.
and that just then something else gets added to the bottom. When that's done, something else gets added to the bottom. But like I said, you have to have that list. Otherwise, if they don't, if we don't need to do things, they don't need us anymore. So we got to have
This
that.
goes
We got
on.
to have that list of things to do.
This goes on. That's for sure. All right, Randy. Well, let's say hi to some folks. You want to?
Yeah, good to see everybody. Quite a few great people on. Always great people on.
Got
Tina,
Herbie on. Got Phineas on. Two of our favorite elves in the whole wide world. Ernie is on with us today. Santa Doug's joining us. Bill
Sean,
Corbett,
Nina,
Sean White,
and there's Mitch Allen just popped in. Deanna
uh,
Vin,
Mitch.
Vin. I'm sorry, I will never get you. I apologize. I know you've sent me the phonetic spelling all the time. And thank you for joining us. I'm sure when you're doing the peppermint thing, it doesn't get messed up on there. So, and see, Mark, good
Dinner
to see
was
you,
on.
man. Fantastic, everybody. Great to see
Mr.
everybody.
Trivia is on. AJ said that we done went and made trivia hard. So
No,
it's not as easy as it used to be.
uh,
Santa Mel, Melissa Lynn is on. Mark Rector, Deborah Kaiser. Fantastic group. All right,
fantastic.
man. Well, how about we go ahead and jump into this big old burger? You ready?
Yeah, I had good breakfast, but I haven't had lunch yet. I was gonna have had one of those great bagels with the lox and cream cheese, and man, I was too full. I didn't have lunch, so now it's time to get something else to eat and sink my teeth into.
Let's go for it.
Hey,
As
Ray.
usual, we
Yeah,
got
burger
some
sounds good, doesn't it, Ray? I agree.
yeah,
Ray
it
said a
does.
burger sounds good.
As usual, we got something really good to go with that burger, and it is Hot Topics. It is uh, Randy's question, always a great question, and this is another good one. This is one that we can all sink our teeth into.
Now, my first thought was, I'm going to start it with this one. My first thought was, how do you explain to a client that you're going to be late because of the snow? Now, of course, we don't all have that problem. I know Bob doesn't have that problem. So I kind of just I put it, this question is more important, I think, than that one there. How do you handle a client that is running late, but you have another event to go to right after them that you cannot be late for? How do you handle a client? How do you respectfully talk to them or tell them they're running late because the food was out late or whatever the case may be, or the guest of honor's running late, or the owner of the company giving out bonuses is too tipsy, or and you're just running late, so Santa's running late, but you can only stay so long. How do you handle that situation? It's because sometimes they don't understand that you got to leave. You hired me from 7 to 9, and I have to leave at 9 because I have another commitment at 10, let's say. Um, they don't, well, wait a minute, we won't get through all our guests. How do we tell a child there or a family member there that Santa's got to go? I'm just curious how few folks handle that situation.
So if you don't have another event backing up to the one that you're doing, then you got a little bit of leeway. And I have in the past, I think I mentioned a special needs birthday party I went to. I was there, supposed to be there an hour, ended up staying 4 hours. But it was my own choice, and I didn't ask for more money. It was my pleasure to be there. It was a ton of fun. But you know, sometimes you just have to, and really the best way to handle it, Randy, is on the front. When you contact the client, you let them know that your contracted time starts when I get there and ends whatever time that we have agreed to, and that I must leave because I have something else behind that I've got to get to. And you wouldn't want me to be late for your event because I stayed over too long at the event before. So let's give the client behind you the same respect that I've given you by letting me leave. I mean, there's some nice ways to do it. I think most people, 99%, will probably agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've only had
Next
it really
year,
happen with me, like on a brunch. Let's say you're doing a brunch and it's running later, then I definitely have something afterwards. I usually don't. If I'm 7 to 9 at night, I don't usually have something after that to worry about corporate events like that. But during the day, and Mitch, yeah, there is snow, Mitch. Just to let you know what is snow. Stay down in Texas, Mitch. What is snow? I'll bring you up here and we'll have a snowball fight. Um, so that's the time that it thing. But then you've got a breakfast of Santa, and you've got other children. Then you've got to leave. How do you explain to those few children that you've got to leave? That's then that goes to the non-Santa like or whatever because you're leaving a child,
yeah,
even though it's the
it's not
client's
it's
fault.
It's not the child's fault exactly, and
Yeah.
they will be the ones that will be disappointed. And that's the last thing as a professional Santa or Mrs. Claus or an elf you want to do, disappoint any child. So there's a fine line there that you've got to try to walk. You've got to really, as Mitch says, communication, communication, communication. But you've also kind of got to have time management involved along the way. And if you're there an hour and 30 minutes in, you've only seen a third of the children that may be at that event, you need to figure out, you know, try to step it up as quick as you can and make it where you can get through all the children. But, that's a tough subject any way you look at it. That's why I love this question so much because
Because it's kind of a no
it's just
win situation for
an
Santa
over.
or Mrs. Claus. It doesn't or an elf, whoever that performer is at that event. It's kind of a no win situation for that performer because you
They
don't
put
want to
no
look
man's
bad, and of
mind.
course we don't want to upset the children, but we also then have another client afterwards that is paying us for a certain length of time, and we can't be late for them. And I'm sure we could maybe call and say, hey, look, I'll be 10 minutes late. I mean, we you do that. Yes, there's snow, so sometimes if they call for snow, a snow day, and I'll be 10 minutes late because the weather is horrible. Even though Santa should never be late on snow because that's Santa's sleighing thing, but that can sometimes work. But it's a delicate line to walk because Santa, Mrs. Claus, or whoever is really kind of the one that it really hurts the most. I mean, it hurts the children, but it's a no-win situation, I think, for us if the client, if that happens. And like Mitch says, your communication, and we all do contracts or performance confirmations, whatever you want to call them, and we all have on there from time to time. Um, just sometimes during the process, something makes it late. Oh, can you stick around? Can you stick around? Well, I can't because so it is
And too, Randy, as professionals, we pretty much know how long it's going to take to see 20 children, 50
right,
children, 100
right.
children. You can pretty much have that guess, that estimate in your mind when you're talking to the client on the front end, and to let them know that hey, an hour is not going to be enough time. Maybe we better do an hour and 15 minutes or 30 minutes. If you split, I split mine up 15-minute increments, so I can do an hour and 15 or hour and a half, however they want to do it. But again, communicating on the front end is going to save some headaches on the back end, but that's not always going to be the case because, like you said, there's things that will happen that are unforeseen,
Yeah.
and that's where it gets sticky.
All
All right,
righty.
let's see
Let's
what
see what
some
we
of these
got here.
guys here.
Yep.
Ray Bradshaw wants to know if them burgers are good dipped in Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah. It
Here
gets all.
comes
And
Bill.
no, I stopped licking my fingers. That's not a good thing to do. Start licking my fingers already. Ray Rasaw said, though, he said, I only book one major event a day. Of course, that will definitely take care of it if you
Yes.
don't have to go do. Because the only time it really has affected me is if I do a brunch, breakfast for Santa, then you have something a little later. Same thing. Usually, if you're do mall dates or big box store, you know when you're done. You don't really do much afterwards. Uh, um, Santa Doug, I have not ran out. I have not ran into that yet. I try to leave a bit extra time between the two gigs for travel as I go over. Again, that's another
Always.
great idea. So,
Always.
let's say you, instead of an hour in between, you put 2 hours in between. Um, then if you do go an extra half hour because the client was running late, you're still going to make it to the next event.
Still planning on the front side because if you've got a event that's just 10 minutes down the street from, that's going to be your second event of the day, then your travel time is not going to be as much. But if you've got to go all the way across town in a metro area like Detroit or Dallas Fort Worth, it can take you 2.5, 3 hours to do that if you've
Yeah.
got to go from far west, far east, or north to south. So again, planning on the front side is going to make a lot of difference there. But always, always try to leave a little bit of extra time in between for sure. I think you missed
Yeah, I
over
missed
Mike.
Mike there. I got to go back
Yeah,
to
okay.
Mike. Yeah. If Santa and Phineas are running late due to the weather, we usually try to make it up on the other end. And that's because that's kind of in a way, that's kind of your fault, not your fault because it's the weather, but so you're trying to help out because of that. It's a great idea, Phineas. On the other end, if a client event is running long, we have another event booked after. We have already let the contractor know that we have a hard out in advance and to remind them of the contract agreement. And sometimes you have to let the client know that, you hired me from 12 to 2. I have to leave by 2 o'clock. I have an engagement at 3. I can't be late for them. And we all do this professionally on the side anyway. We would never do that in front of the children or anything else. So that's never we know that would be a good one to do. We know we would take care of that.
You got to
Uh,
always let that client know though that your contracted time, because and I have run into this where you get there and the the people are not ready for you yet. They're still in the middle of dinner,
and
or they're doing something. Always try to tell your client ahead of time on the front end, again in the communication, that your time for them starts when you get there, and then for them to have their folks ready. Uh, One of the best examples I have always used and have heard many, many, many others use is have everybody together, knowing that I'm going to be there too. Just before 2, get everybody together and start singing Christmas carols. Have everyone in one general, location. Have that contact person meet you out front to help walk you in, and make sure that everything is ready. You go in, you can ho ho ho, you can join in for the song, and your time has already started.
yeah, it's always so much. Besides, it's so much more festive. I mean, there's nothing better than walking up and being there, and all of a sudden, everybody's singing. It brings a smile to everybody. So that even makes it even better than just on time. It just makes it far more, so much cooler to be connected like that. Ernie says, I have a client tell me when it's 10 minutes prior to departure time, uh, so I can stay on time. But you can usually tell about how long your visits take. If you have to leave quick, well, Santa has an emergency at the North Pole to take care of the toys, must rush off, fix a problem, so on and so forth. That's what that phone is always good to have
Right.
to get out. I assure the children there will be something extra in their stocking this Christmas. So, yeah, see, that's a great idea too. It's like I'm running late and there's a few in line yet. When you get that phone call, it's time to go, then you don't look bad like, oh, Santa, I gotta leave because I got another engagement. I've got a problem at the North Pole. It's staying in character, or Mrs. Claus, it's staying in character, which is a great thing to do. Um,
Yeah, Santa Doug uses elf phone call, and a lot of guys use that, have a predetermined elf phone call. Oh, well, there's an emergency at North Pole. Oh, okay, and they get you out. So
Welcome, Charlie. Good to see you. Glad you're here, Charlie. Charlie said he's finally here. I try to put plenty of drive time in between each gig. So same thing. So if you do run 15, 20 minutes late because of an event and the client's late, you're not going to miss the next one. Santa Doug, we actually use Bluetooth lantern for the grand entrance. That also playing music, just like Bob said, to make it very, very powerful. Our music is timed, and we play the same ending song each time. Play it hour, half hour, 4 hours, so we know when its time is up. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So they've got a timer. They play their music, so they know they hear that song every hour. Bing. Okay, I got 1 hour for that many children out there. It's a good way to keep you on track, because you could be in that chair talking to children, and time can just click by so fast. So this is a real good reminder idea, how to without having to look at your watch. Um, it's a good way to remind you about your timing. Um, so yeah,
that's
but
right.
there's
If you did not catch the segment with Santa Doug and Jen, we had them on. Looking back real quick here, back on March 19th, that would be episode 6. They showed them entering. We played a video of them entering with the lantern and the music, and they explained how they do that home visit and how they incorporate that. If you have not, go back and catch that segment. Again, that was on March 19th, which was episode 6 of this season.
just built such a complete package for Santa and Mrs. Claus to enter and everything else. That's very cool. It's very cool. Good job. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, it's a sticky thing because you don't want to disappoint the children. So, but there's just some, like I said, great ideas from people that have said how to um, buffer the time or get out. I like Jeff's little funny red phone, the old-fashioned phone that he pulls out of his pocket. There used to be a thing, Abbott's Magic Company, way back in the probably 70s, that was called the phony ring, and it used to be a little tiny box, and you had the same thing, a cord. You'd pin it to your inside of your coat, and you could push the button. Yeah, you hear the ring, and you'd pull that out of your coat. I mean, it's especially you can find a red one. But that's it's funny to see the old fashioned handset. I love that look.
I did too.
Better,
I thought
it's
that's cool.
better than this. I think um I
It's
love that
perfect.
look.
Perfect. Absolutely. So, howdy, partner. That's going out to Steve Kenley. He just joined us. He said he's practicing his Western greeting.
Oh, there's another one on.
And Sean White's got a comment there,
Oh,
Randy.
I miss Sean's.
She just popped in.
Where is it? Hello,
It's not showing
Angela.
up on StreamYard.
Yeah, it's not showing up on StreamYard for some reason. You want me to read it? It's in Facebook.
Yeah, gonna have to. Whoops.
So Sean
There it is.
says,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sean says, I watch the weather constantly. I am also at every day. Excuse me. I I am also at everything early just in case I need to adjust the time. Clients have been good about it. The only time I was late as being because Mrs. Claus was stopped for speeding. Sean, no.
Oh,
That's all
naughty
right.
little John.
She
That
was trying to get there. In her defense, she was trying to get there.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, of course, so many states don't have that problem. So I was going to ask that first about how do you do if you're running late for snow, and how do you explain to the children Santa flies in a sleigh? He lands everywhere in a sleigh in the snow with a reindeer. How does things make it late when it's snowing? Um, I had to go from an hour and a half drive one day, and it's just snowing like crazy. And it's going to be, there's no way I was going to make it. It was taking me, it was an hour and a half drive to begin with. It was taking me 2.5 hours to get there. I was maybe a half hour from the place, and they called it off because it was snowing so bad. So I was lucky. I wasn't late. I mean, now because they called it off, but I would have been late for the snow. And how do you tell them that Santa's not going to be there because of the snow? So without, that's what Rudolph is for and all that. So it's a
That's
lot
right.
of you guys don't have that concern, but it's the clients that I just had an event also one year that they said, "Oh, we're running late. Can you just sit in this room?" Me and I had a Mrs. Claus with me at the time. We just sat in the room and sat in the room and sat in a room and sat in a room. It was over an hour we sat in a room. I said, we have to either go on, or we really only have another hour for the event. So, yep, it doesn't happen that often, thank goodness, because it is such a positive time of year. Thank goodness that stuff doesn't happen that often, but things do happen, and we all know how to um, rise to that occasion and be as professional to take care of our clients, and of course, don't forget the little ones and their smiles, and that's always the bottom line.
Here's
As always,
a new
guys.
Here's a new one that popped up,
Oh,
Randy. Of course, I'm looking at. It's for some reason our comments aren't coming up all of a sudden in Streamyard. So I've
Fresh.
I've got Facebook over here open. So Charlie Johnson says I had to cancel an in-person visit due to snow, but was able to do it virtually instead.
yeah. Well, that's great if you could do it. If they're, I mean, I love that virtual. Oh, Bob left. Oh, I do. I love that virtual. That's great if you can reset it up for something like that. To do a virtual end of it, then too. You're still connecting with them. There we go. So, but that's a great turnaround to be able to get a virtual for if you couldn't make the event because of snow. You could. whatever your unique line of talk was to say why you couldn't make it for the snow, but you're sitting in your office at the North Pole talking. It can work. That's great.
So I hit refresh, Randy, and now
Oh,
my comments are coming up. So that's why
oh,
I
okay,
went out
gotcha.
just a second.
Refresh without losing them.
Now I'm afraid we'll lose the broadcast if you do that, Angie.
Uh, but again, always great comments, great contact, guys. I mean, real, like I said, I know you're all have been through this and as professional as can be about it all. Um, thank you so much always for your input. I mean, we can't be more blessed by everybody that's a part of all this stuff. It amazes me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Okay, so we will move along
Now
then
we
to
got a cool question on the next one.
my question. This is something
Yeah.
I don't think that we've even talked about on this show.
Oh,
We have, I don't remember it, but this was one that came to mind. How many of you Claus portrayers incorporate a cane or walking stick into your character? Is it a custom carved piece or a striped candy cane style? And how often do you use it? Do you think it was an investment that cost versus use has been a good investment? And if you happen to have a photo handy, you want to pop it into the comments on Facebook, do that. That way everyone can see your walking stick, cane, whatever you want to call it. There's different names for them. I do have one, and you know what? I was gonna bring it in here and show everyone on camera, and I didn't do that. But I bought one my very first year. Felt that it was important to have one. I've used it maybe a half a dozen times in 14 years. It's something that, and mine's a walking stick, and it's something that you're not going to use real often, but if you do parades or grand entrances, they're great for that.
yeah.
And the reason we think about this is because something that was mentioned the other night on the other show about the teething rings and the binkies and hanging them off the canes. That's what gave me the idea for this because we've never talked about that on the show. So
No, but it's something that to me, same thing. I mean, I've got one. I've never used one of these. I've never used it in as Santa, but it's something I just had to have. I mean, I've never incorporated that into the event, but the walking stick, the hand carved. I mean, that I love. I just love the. I had just a carved
yeah,
Santa on there. I mean,
I've
especially
got one.
when you're walking with
Okay.
the when you're walking with your long robe. I'll tell you, it feels so good to walk with the walking stick, and you tell them about your story about who carved your when you posed for the the carving, and it's just a talking piece. It's so much fun to have, and I put it together myself. As everybody knows, I'm a avid eBayer. I bought the pole or a stick on eBay. This I just hot glued some bells. I had a friend that did carve the little Santa on there. I hot glued them on there, and this I probably use a couple times every year at minimum, at least, because it gives me a lot of talk time. Yeah, perfect. That's the same thing. It just gives you. They're fun. Like I said, I love I think the regular candy cane look is cool, but I haven't been able to put this into um, a talk yet for have a regular cane. This is very easy because it looks cool.
Okay, let's do some solo layouts. Who wants to go first?
Doesn't matter.
Somebody's leaving us?
No.
Trying to
Nope.
do so. Mine is so long I can't get it in the picture very well, but it's a Santa card on top. Has a
Hold on.
bag over his shoulder. If you can see the bag or not.
Very cool. Yeah.
And it's got the lanyard. It's got the bells. It's got holly painted on the sides. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hand painted. Also has Merry Christmas written on it. Kind of a glare there. I don't know if you can see that or not. The only thing I did on this that I wished I hadn't is put my handle, my name right there. That's great for, being with other Santas, but if you take it to an event, it kind of spoils everything. And I don't know if you can see the reindeer that are carved on the side of it.
Wow.
Reindeer are carved in it. And so I figure out how to make this thing work here. Anyway, you get the gist of it. But it's a tall one. It's taller than I am. So, all right, Randy, show yours off.
Yeah, that's mine's not as fancy as that. Like I said, I just this is just I mean, it's kind of nice looking piece of wood on it, but it's not carved like Bob's is Merry Christmas, but and that's just from Joann's. I just hot glued it on there, and a couple of bells so they get some sound, and it's a great place to put your hand. Besides the little carving guy, and like I said, it's a great talking piece to say that Bernard carved this for me. Whoever you want to say, oh, and I stood for how long to carve it, and he made my left eye crooked when he first. You can make a complete whole backstory just about the Santa thing, which that's why it's always been so much fun for me because it's like I'm just gonna have fun talking about the Santa, but. Uh, the only time I use it again, usually the only time I use it is when I wear the parade robe. You want that more majestic, bigger look. Um, they're great to have. They're not that much, I think probably mine $25-$30 from start to finish. Bells, rope, glue, carving, everything, maybe a little more. Um, I have to admit, Spangles canes are cooler than this. I just bought a cane, sprayed it red, and this is just white electrical tape. But I just wanted it for in case I needed to walk as Santa and my hip was bothering me. At least I can use a regular cane. But um, it's I think they're a cool prop. Sometimes we just need it. Um, I actually I the staff I've taken it someplace it'll just help you walk if you're outside. Just gives you that little stability, at least for me, to walk on grass and everything else or snow. Just gives you that little balance. So they can be multi-purpose just besides looking cool. I know I have to say Blake does some great carvings, and I wish I would have had a Blake carving on the top of mine, but I already had mine done. But there's a lot of great artists out there that can do stuff like that. Or I like all the paint job on yours, Bob. That is very cool with the reindeer on it. That rocks.
I researched mine and I found a gentleman. He was in his 80s. He has passed on. He lived up on top of the Cumberland Plateau and he had acreage. And he offered to make it any. And he made canes and stuff. That's what he done. I actually found him on Etsy, I think it was. And I told him I wanted something in a white wood, and he said, "Well, I've got dogwood." I asked him if he had aspen. He said he didn't have any aspen, did have dogwood. So anyway, that was dogwood. Charged me $99 for the whole thing. That was the custom painting, the linear, the carving on top, everything, and that was
Wow.
a bargain. I said, "I got to
Yeah.
have it."
Yeah, for
You know, so
$100 for I mean I love all that painting on there. That's gorgeous. I wish I had something a little more unique on the staff part, but I'm an old fashioned. I do too many DIY things. Maybe that's my problem. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. Do we got anybody that's are comments even coming in at all? I haven't seen anybody new
we
for.
do for some reason again.
Hopefully it won't cut us off. I'm gonna see what happens.
Well, mine's not coming in anymore either.
Excuse me. See, I'm curious how many people do use either or. I mean, there's some
All
Santas
right,
that
so
literally need a cane. They're up in years, and they do
yeah,
it just for their support period. And you might as well make it look cool. You might as well have it look like a candy cane and not like a regular walking cane. Um, so
so the comments that I have here on Facebook, Ernie says custom carved piece used for parades. Another shepherd's crook for church Christmas bazaars. Santa Doug says I have a custom carved walking stick on its way. Charlie says, I have a candy cane, striped cane, and a walking stick with an antler on top. I normally only use one or the other if walking in a parade. I want to keep my hands free to shake hands and hand out giveaways. Ernie again says one from Ukraine, another from Amish country. The gentleman in Ukraine that I think it was Ron Lamb that first contacted the guy somehow or another, run across him, and he started designing one for Ron. Next thing you know, I think he ended up making 20 of them in his first batch.
Wow.
Took over a year to do, I think, and then he's done others since then. And
I have to say, Santa Brian Campbell's went to logged in. He brought one to Santa Ana University. He brought a cane up, and it looked like a regular cane with looked like a brass knob on the top, and it looked nice. But then he took and he slid it out, turned it over, and it became um a like a what are they, not like almost like binoculars or telescope that was hidden,
Periscope,
a
telescope,
periscope that was hidden in the handle. I mean, he went there. He went to Amazon. He's typed in canes for steampunk, but it had so many uses from bringing that out. Again, a wonderful talking piece for a prop. That yeah, Santa Brian, it was a cool thing he showed there. And all it is again, it's just another fantasy for the children. That's the whole thing. We are just taking them the belief out. Like I said, I love this little kaleidoscope. It just looks cool. They don't know what it is. You can play it up. That's his cane. His cane was the same way. It opened up. You could look at it, and of course you could talk about your travel, how you see. I mean, it's endless. Then the stories you can build off of that stuff. Easy props, great props that are not a prop.
Right. Dual purpose.
Yep.
Moving on here, Dana Prostrollo says Mrs. Claus broke her knee a couple of years ago, and I had to walk on crutches. My story was that I spoke to Comet in the barn while I was bringing Santa some cookies, and he kicked me in the knee. But I could not be mad at him because I taught the children that you should never sneak up on an animal when they are eating because it might scare them and you might get hurt. It was a great lesson for everyone. That's the way to turn it around right there.
Yeah. See, then you've got a great story the children want to listen to. It's fantastic, and that's what we're all there to build fantasy for the children and the families.
Backstories. How many times do we mention how important backstories are? All right. Deborah Kaiser says, love the walking stick. Bill Corbett says, have both in case the old knees need help. Use my stick more. Shannon McCann. Hello, Shannon. I have candy cane that I pick up. Last year, I used it to help me walk some distance, although also us and the kids love hold on to it in photo shoots.
Wow, that's a cool idea to photo shoot.
Yep.
They would love, like Bob, they would love to hold on to your thing. That's like, before they get weight towers over their head, but still, that would be a great prop for that. Yeah, that's one aside. They put it in the face. I mean, it just no swinging though. It's not it's not a lightsaber, but again, a great prop for photo sessions. Besides, then that's unique to you, and that's what always makes us individual Santas is that's unique to you.
It's like we also have Doug right here in Texas joining us, and he says, I have a custom cane. I have only used it a few times. I took a Bravo walking stick that I added red and white crystal and painted a stripe down the cane with red glitter paint. For the top, I used Christmas ribbon with wire inside and 2 light up multicolored gift boxes I found at Cracker Barrel. I use it very infrequently.
Wow, a light up cane. Disco Santa, that'd be cool. I like that. No, that's got to be cool as it could be. That's why I always thought at first I thought Spangles was that too because it's lucite. I thought it was maybe hollow. You could put lighting in it. They got the battery operated ones. You could
right.
LED ones, and you could put a light down the middle of it, but I didn't know if it's hollow or not. I haven't noticed if Spangles is hollow or not. The lucite cane he's got, but that would be
Well,
fun too.
I don't think that he has actually put it out publicly, but he went back to the manufacturer and they are putting lights in them now. His
Oh,
newest version
okay.
will have lights in them.
All right. I think that's
Oh,
neat.
You know Spangle.
Yeah. Oh boy.
He showed me the prototype or a photo or something here a few weeks ago, but I don't think they've come in yet. So, but he's got them coming.
He called me, the old video chat 3 times in a row the other day. I was shopping at an at-home store. I couldn't answer when I was shopping, so I finally get to the truck and yes, bag, what you need? It's like, oh,
Uh,
yeah. It goes, oh, I saw this. I always got to tell somebody. I
he
love it. I love it, man. He just doesn't stop.
doesn't.
He's
He doesn't. He does
he's
not.
dynamite, man. He doesn't stop. And I have to admit, I went home. I ordered what he showed me, and I got
Yeah.
I got it right away. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, baby, I'll take it. So I got to give him props for having the ideas because man, I loved it. So
I know he's always out there trying to get a buck from all of us. Matter of
yeah,
fact, real quick, before we continue here, I've got an eating mate for the Texas State Santa's coming up June 1st here in Dallas, and he told me the other night. He said, "Well, if you can get 50 people, I'll drag my 40-foot trailer down there." Okay. So he calls me today. He says, "So how many people you got?" And I said, "I got 49, I think." And he says, "Well, I'm coming, but how many of those are going to buy something?" I said, "I have no idea." Well, it don't matter how many you have, but how many you're going to purchase. And I said, "Dude, I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
who
don't know,
knows?
yeah.
Who knows?" Shannon McCann says, thought about getting one wood to use on photo shoots. Ernie, if you share, you'll have to do it on Facebook in the group. Just go over to the
I told him to maybe copy and paste it.
or copy and paste it if you might. Mark Rector, mine has a simple 5-point deer antler on top, 60 inches tall. I think that's what mine is 60 inches. I'm not
Wow,
sure.
that's good. That's a nice
Uh,
sec. That's
Sal Delicado has joined us today. Daniel Pless has joined us. Jeff BRB I have not used one yet. I am planning on an antler on top. I am trying to get an antler before I order my walking stick. Good point.
oh, just a deer antler. That's always a good one. Then it still can make a great story about how it broke off or whoever is it. Yeah, it's
Rudolph's
always
first, and you took it, when he dropped his first antler and made attached to the top. That way you'd always have it with you.
yep. So that's why it just helps so many things to talk about and you do it right. The children are mesmerized. They want to hear those things because they still want to, at those ages they still want to keep that belief and that heart just going. So
And with Rudolph being the most popular to the children, they all would want to touch that little
oh
antler. So Mark Richter tells Jeff, says, find a local taxidermy and see if he will sell you one cheap, or even go to a deer meat processor and see if you can get one. Hot Rod Dan joined us, man. Dan Hagenbach up in Kansas. Outstanding. Wild Wichita, Kansas. Hot Rod Dan. Fantastic, man. Tammy Weaver says, love it. Charlie Johnson has shared his steampunk cane. Looks like the hot link there for that. Wade Coffin has joined us. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Good to see Wade on. Charlie Johnson says, I think mine is a white-tailed deer antler, which would be easier to get depending on where you live. Shannon McCann says children love it. Kids love it. Santa Doug put up a link to Esty hand carved walking cane. Mark Rector says Billy Brown has an incredible light up walking stick. And Doug Wright says only the gift box light up, Randy. And AJ wants to know if you're going to be at Jingle Joy.
yes, I'll be there Saturday. Yes, I will.
AJ says he's coming.
Good to see. All right, AJ, I get to finally see you live.
There you go. All right, man. I think goodness, another long first two questions today.
Thank you,
Always
folks.
good. Fantastic. We got a lot more to cover, so let's go ahead and move along. If any other comments pop up, we'll come back and address those. And so right here, right now, let's jump off into our SantaCloset.org trivia.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
So we have Santa Wade joining, as I said a moment ago. He wants to know who he's going to send something to this week. Wade, you and I had talked about the trivia questions and how I'd made them harder and harder, and we stopped them last week for a little bit, and so this week's going to be a little bit easier. We'll see how quick they can get it today. Randy, over to you, brother.
All righty, guys. It kind of keeps under the same vein of what we've been talking about here. This is fantastic. A walking stick or cane is a device used primarily to aid walking, but come in many shapes and sizes. We all know that. They have been historically known as a blank, 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 and may conceal a blank or blank, and is known as a blank. So basically, we're looking 1, 2, 3, 4 answers. Yeah, 4 answers. A walking stick or cane is the device that usually primarily is for aided for walking, and it has many shapes and sizes, which we've shown. But they have historically been known as a blank, 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 and may conceal a blank or blank, and is known as a blank.
If
The
it
last
is,
two are pretty easy to.
if it is concealing, then it has a different name. That's what the last blank will be, just to give you a clue. If it is concealing, then it has a little bit of a different name other than walking stick or cane. All right, Randy, let's let them work on that for a little bit. And I think that'll be one they can get fairly easy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I always wanted one like this when I was young. I never got one. I always thought it was kind of a cool the way that is. I always
Uh-huh.
wanted a cane like that. You see it.
Bond, James
You
Bond.
you see it in all those type shows. It just yeah, that's why it's always like, oh man, I want one like that. So oh well. These don't do that. Yeah, these are a little different. The ones we use are a little different. So, but
for sure. All ours conceal is lights and bells and
and smiles.
smiles and antlers on top.
Yeah, I love that
Okay,
antler
well,
idea, man.
let's go ahead and jump on into our elephant and chatterbox news for the day. Let's start off with saying that the drawing for the School of Santa Scholarship will be during the Tuesday Night Live show, May 28th. So if you have your name in the hat as an SOS winner since 2023 to present, good luck and join in on the 28th to see if you will be the winner for that $459 scholarship to School of Santas.
That's a big one. $460 scholarship. That's a big.
That includes 7 meals. That includes 2 in-house, or actually 3 in-house performances that he brings into the conference center, and then the 2 Branson shows that we go out to. So, I mean,
And besides all the learning
and kick in
and
the
fellowship, wow.
with Jeff McMullen, as we will speak of here in a moment. All right, so the Texas State Santa's Eating Meat, June 1st, Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Time. Gosh, I'm up to 49 now. I figured we'd have around 50, so we're right there at that. It's going to be at the Los Rancheros Mexican Cafe, and that is at 10261 Ferguson Road in Dallas. If you're in the Dallas, Fort Worth, North Texas region, and you'd like to come, everyone is welcome. Just let me know ahead of time so I can make sure and save you a seat. All right, Randy, over to you, brother.
That's a good crowd, 50 for a luncheon. I know there's a luncheon going on here in the city of Lapeer, Michigan. They've been doing it now almost once a month up in Lapeer. Wood Bridge or Wood Brick restaurant, really good. I was there last time. And there's 12 to 14 or so Santa's Mrs. Clauses, but 50 together, that's fantastic. That's a great connection.
Yeah, got Mitch Allen coming, got Becky and Neil Norman from Oklahoma coming, got Scott and Colleen Saraton from Oklahoma coming. Phil Tindy's going to be there, Santa's
Wow.
Taylor. So we've got a good crowd coming. Besides the Santa's and Mrs. Clauses, there's a few others there that on the other side of things, the vendor side and the agent side. So that's what I was trying to say.
It's just that's a big group of people, 50. That's a big group. That's fantastic.
And hey, with a week and a half left, it may grow to be more than that. I'm not real sure.
Yeah. Well, good. Of course, things growing. I don't know how Spangle can grow it anymore for any more people though, but he said there's limited seats left for, of course, School of Santa. SOS it's broken down to 2024, and of course Branson, Missouri, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st in Branson. Again, there's so much to say about that convention coming up. What Bob just said, it's you got 7 meals, you've got all the shows, you got everything else, besides a big list of great teachers, and of course keynote speaker, the gentleman that was here last week, the newly inducted Hall of Famer, Jeff McMullen. Crinkle you can't help it.
And man, if you did not see that show, that's another one you need to go back and watch. That was one of my favorite shows. Always is. Jeff's such a quality person, and
just pure class, a total professional, total just it's something that you so many people need to learn is just the disposition. Even if you learn that, the calmness, the everything else, if you can learn that, or if you can feel that, it's amazing. I years and years ago, when I was first started in the food service business, most chefs are very high strung, very crazy high strung chefs when I was in the business. And I learned from this one chef, Leopold Chili. He didn't care. It didn't matter. One more person, who cares? If I learned anything from him, it was just the calmness and his disposition about how to deal with what's going on and how to keep calm under situations. And that's like the way Jeff is, just level, but besides, so talented. I mean, don't miss School of Santa. That's huge coming up. And like I said, Spangle's fitting in a couple more. He'll squeeze you in. And of course, less than 2 weeks up here in Clare, Michigan, at the Rooftop Reindeer Farms is CPW2, the Advanced Performers Workshop with Santa True. That's the 30th and 31st of May. That, of course, is a paid event for that. Then on Saturday is a free event. Yes, it's free. Is Jingle Joy up at the reindeer farm. Come up, bring your suit, get pictures with the reindeer. We have luncheon there, photographer there. There'll be a whole, you'll get classes about reindeer. It's a wonderful day that MAPS puts on up on the first, up in Clare, Michigan, on the 1st of June. That's going on. And of course, we'll talk more about the red suit coming up in the first weekend in August. Great list of educators for those 2 days. Basically, things start Friday night, just a meet and greet, all day Saturday and Sunday. Great time, but we'll tell you more about that in the thing. But man, I can't believe you start talking about that already, that it's right around the corner, because that's August. And then we've got so much going on. Then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump till the season.
Yeah, it's that time of year when things just seem to, gets warm outside and there's just more and more and more events going on, more guys getting together, more things happening, and this is one that TNL, Angela, myself, Randy, and Scott Sheraton was on. Melissa, Santa's Magical Fellowship group this last week on Thursday night. And we kind of started letting the cat out of the bag on some of this. So I'm going to go ahead and share what I can with you today. The TNL family and brand is expanding to bring you 4 new characters and content on 2 more nights of the week. You heard me right.
More nights.
New Wednesday nights, 2 personalities on the show at once. I'm gonna go ahead and let the cat out of the bag on the name. The Kringle brothers, Kringle time.
It's Kringle time. It's Kringle time. So you're gonna have to work on my cheek muscles because you're gonna be smiling and laughing so much and everything
Oh my
else.
gosh, I
So it's
cannot
gonna
wait
be a
for this
riot.
one. I've been so excited about this. It's been crazy. So these 2 guys together, Kringle brothers, Kringle time. This is going to be stellar, guys. That'll be on Wednesday night. Not sure exactly what time we're going to land on, but it'll be during prime time for certain. Now that's on the TNL Tuesday Night Live page. Then we've got another show that we are debuting. Actually, it's going to be kind of like 2 shows, even though it's one. On Mel's Santa Magical Fellowship Group. This will be on Thursday night, and this will follow our fellowship that she does every Thursday. Randy's been a part of it, administrator over from the very beginning. And we're going to have alternate every other week. We'll have Sean White one week, and we will have Erica Minton the next week. Wingnut, the elf. This is going to be another fantastic segment for the ladies, the guys too, but the ladies are going to get so much out of these 2. Oh gosh, I'm so excited.
That's gonna
Anyway,
be dynamite.
all that powered by TNL Productions. So the TNL family is expanding. We are growing, and we are trying to give you more and more content. What more can I say?
I mean, it's just amazing what I mean, and I don't know you guys, but I got to thank Bob and Angela for all they do already for these 2 shifts, and to put all this together many years ago, and now it's expanding even more. To I mean, Herbie the Elf, he's just wound up. Of course, pretty much all know Michael how he is. I mean, Herbie is just so is Michael. So that Kringle time between just by their enthusiasm and everything else is going to be crazy on Wednesday nights that TNL is adding. Then come on, Thursday nights a special thing for Mrs. Claus's. I mean, come on, the talent that's out there for Mrs. Claus's, and it's all because of what Bob and everybody Scott put together. You guys, I got to give you guys a thank you for putting this, starting it all, because now look what it's become. Just everybody.
Well, we
It's
want to thank
fantastic.
Michael and Herbie for coming on board, and for those of you who may not know Erica Minton as Wingnut, oh my gosh, another crazy, going to be so much fun. Sean White, such the instructor. Uh, Mrs. Claus Vintage, she's going to have so much to share with you guys. It's going to be so much fun, so cool. We're so excited and can't wait to get started here with it.
Yeah, just I mean, they're both. Erica is a performer from day one. I mean, she is, uh, and her husband is Roger Mitten that basically invented Kringle Tracker. If people don't know, but Roger Mitten's her husband, and he invented Kringle Tracker. So he's a Santa, of course, but she's just they used to live across the street from my cousin, and she used to breathe fire and all this kind of stuff. My cousin used to say, "Oh my goodness, Erica's out there spinning fire again in the front yard." But she just, I mean, she's just a performer. And I mean, besides her thought process on stuff, and of course, Sean, classy, fantastic. So what an addition, Mrs. Claus show. Wow, I can't wait to get this started. I don't. Well, when is the start date? Is there an official starting date, Bob?
I'm not sure. I know. I I think I think that Mel mentioned next week, but we need to check, make sure we're heard
Okay.
on that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of things posted on Facebook and all that, and of course, which week Sean and which week Erica, um, and of course,
And the
you
Kringle
never
brothers have
know
been
what to
working.
expect when the Kringle Kringle time hits. You will not know what to expect.
They've been working on that for a few weeks now, so they're just about ready to roll out also.
So
Now, with all that said, Randy, moving on to our upcoming guests and shows for TNL tomorrow night. That's
man,
tomorrow night, May 21st. That's right. Many Faces of Mrs. Claus. Now, this is another segment. Sean White is also part of that panel. This is going to be co-hosted by Deanna Golden. Me and Spangle will be there. We'll kick the show off, and we're going to turn it over to Deanna, and she's going to pretty much co-host the rest of the show down until we get towards the end, where we do the trivia answers and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a fantastic show. Deanna has put so much time into this. I believe we've got 5 ladies total coming on that's going to talk about different areas of what Mrs. Claus does. Many faces, from business to anything and everything Mrs. Claus does. Let's just leave it at that. Show up tomorrow night and check that out. It's going to be so much fun. The following week, May 28th, Megan Price, Gig Salad. That's right. That's right. Let me grab my
don't forget, it's free, guys. There's
free
no
guy.
hidden things. We're not going to ask you for a yearly subscription. Not at all. It's all free. Just think that talent is going to be there tomorrow night. I mean, you're going to have to ask Deanna if she's been fishing yet up north. So,
So it's free at 3 on Mondays. We've always been here on Mondays at 3 Central Time. It's always been free. We've always been here at 3. Now, with all that said, there are others.
that aren't really free, but we'll leave it at that. But
But they,
that's
they showed up on Monday at 3. Isn't that
Monday
amazing?
at 3. Yep, just happened to be
Let's,
this exact same time. It's kind of interesting.
so also remember the Megan Price Geek Salad Show,
Oh yeah,
May
Gig Salad
28th. It's
rocks.
also the week we do the drawing for Spangles. So big show coming there. Now then, Santa Doug, who has joined us today, and Diane Wright will be doing June 4th. June 4th, Santa Doug and Diane Wright making your home visit a lasting memory. Now, they have presented at my Sat Bob's class in the Dallas Fort Worth area the last 2 years. What a fantastic segment, man. I sit in the back of the room and just grin and think, wow, the energy, the time, the props, the storytelling. Uh, if you've ever wanted to take your home visit to the next level, they have the program for you. They also presented in Memphis at the ISC, so we're going to have them on doing their presentation. I'm going to kick it over to you for the rest, Randy.
Alrighty, yeah. I mean, home visits are so much fun, especially then if you take it to the next level, like they're going to show. Home visits are great. Then on June 11th is Kimmy Claus. Yes, the lady that loves pickles. Yeah, I'm going to say that out loud. Sorry about that. They said it has some health benefits. I don't understand what that means. She's going to talk about her peppermint stick report. Again, all for Mrs. Claus's, all for ladies. Again, it's not just for ladies that night. So men show up that night to June 11th, but she does 2 different classes, a Zoom one and a peppermint stick report with Diane and Nina. Nina's out there tonight helping her doing stuff. So it's a place where the Mrs. Clauses of Corn can hone their skills, and I tell you, they have honed their skills like crazy. They're put us to shame sometimes, the talent that they are out there, and I'm so glad being added Thursday nights and all this. So don't miss June 11th, Kimmy, and she'll make you smile because she's just bubbly. And then June 18th, man, Santa David and Phineas the Elf. What Phineas is hilarious, talented. I hope he sings and plays his guitar on there. They're going to talk about how they work together as, of course, Elf helping out Santa and everything else. It's just the same as Mrs. Claus, but it's Phineas. And of course, Phineas is a little bit more mischievous than Mrs. Claus can be, so it's even more fun to listen to Mike about what he does. And they're across the northern, well, in my case, it's a southern border. Canada is, but I know it sounds silly, but Canada's south of me, where I live at the moment, or where I've always lived. Canada's due south. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? But they're Canada. But don't miss Phineas and Santa David. We're going to talk about how Santa and the elf works. And then on July 9th, the man Hire Santa, head elf Mitch Allen. He's going to talk about Hire Santa, what's available coming up for the season for 2024, which he does every Thursday, every other Thursday, also on his State of the Season address. But he's going to talk about his new connection with Google Calendar and all that, how you can sync. So it's easy to get the events to you. The contracts go that way, but he'll explain it all. He knows when you're open and everything else, which is a great thing that Mitch is going to be connecting with Google for Santas that want to work more directly with him and Mitch and Jenny. They're such a great company. Honest as the day is long, cares about their Santas and everything else. So don't miss Mitch. And again, besides all the opportunities that are coming up for 2024, if you still need something. And then, of course, in July 16th is Branson Live, the preview week ahead. So much to talk about the preview week ahead. The list will go for a long time with what Spangle does. It gets tired just even looking at that list now, and it's not even probably all done. So that'll be a great thing to hear about everything that's going on in Branson. I know there's going to be way over, 120, 130 people there again this year, Bob?
Yeah, at least 120 it looks like. So
yeah. So that's a great event always. I got to give thumbs up to Spangle. He works tirelessly to make that a remembering thing every year. So
yeah. And of course, now that July 16th, I will already be in Branson, so we'll be doing that live from the conference center with Spangle, Jessica Rosa, and anyone else who shows up by that Tuesday. Welcome to come on the show. We'll bring you in and let you be part of the live coverage. That following Thursday, 2 days later, is when we do our Branson special presentation live. It's the TNL Productions Thursday Night Live. Me and Scott, and AJ is going to be there with us. So look forward to that. And then the following week, July 23rd, will be the week that we come home, the Tuesday, and that will be the School of Santa's Branson Big Recap Show. And that'll talk about everything we did during the week. And that's always fun because we get to tell about the shows, the parade, the food, and what we learned in class. So that's going to be a great time.
And always so much happened to see him before and after Branson also. A couple days before, a couple days after, a day or so, there's always stuff going on too, which it just adds to everything you guys can talk about.
There's still 2 open dates.
2 open dates.
Still got 2 open dates between then and I've still got June 25th and July 2nd are still open. I've got people that I've talked to and just hadn't got them penciled in yet. So
I'm sure
we'll have somebody on there, believe me. But all that we just talked about, there's still 2 open dates.
And remember, guys, always, always, always free, free, and free. The favorite F word of the world, guys.
Monday at 3.
And if you don't see it, you can't make it on those nights, just go to YouTube and look them up. You can't miss them. You can look them up then at any time. There's no hidden charges. There's no send us a yearly membership. Nah, it ain't going to happen. So
got to say, Randy, that our YouTube channels are growing. We finally started adding subscriptions to both the Bob and Randyl and the Tuesday Night Live. Our hits have been really up there. More and more folks are going over here to watch, which we greatly appreciate you doing that. In the long run, it's going to benefit TNL Productions to be able to continue bringing you the content that you see and expanding. And we just want to keep, giving you as much as we can. So. All right. Are you ready to do the trivia answer?
Yeah. Do we have a winner?
All right, I happen to know that we do have a winner, so I'm
Whoa,
not going to
very
have
good.
to ask. So go ahead and read it and give them answers out, Randy.
All right, a walking stick or cane is a device usually primarily aided for walking, but can also come in many shapes and sizes. They have been historically known as a self defense weapon, ooh, and may conceal a knife or a sword. I would have loved one of those. And is also known as a sword stick or sword cane could work. So the answers are they have historically been known as a self defense weapon and may conceal a knife, just a short one in the handle of the thing, or sword, and known as a sword stick or sword cane. I said I always wanted one. I just thought the sword, the little sword coming out there, you'd see coming out. Oh man, that just one of these days I'll break down and buy one and just leave it against the wall. Probably I won't.
And our winner was
Santa Doug,
Santa Doug
and I think
All
he just
right.
jumped.
Vanderwide.
Hopefully he's still on, but he said he's gotta go.
Oh, did he? I hope not. That was 1 minute ago. Doug, if you're still on, I hope you are because you're the winner, and I will get your name over to and your. I think I've got your address too. If I don't, I'll contact you. But get that over to Santa Wade Kaufman at santascloset.org, santascloset.org, santascloset.org. Everybody go over and buy a piece or two and help him out. Him and Scarlett have been so gracious and sending out and keeping up with and putting up with us and on Mondays. And we certainly do appreciate it. Fantastic folks, and they're always there to help you. And they've got some of the best stuff out there.
Great product.
Gosh, man, just too many things to list. Too many things to list. All right, Randy, are you ready? Let's move along and let's go ahead
Yeah,
and get to that TIPS.
it's time for some tips.
Here we go.
Um,
Yeah, we're ready.
Hi, everybody, and thank you again for letting me join you on Santa's Tips. Now, this is it's the almost the end of May now. Of course, we all know, and something we really need to start thinking about is Christmas in July. Um, if you haven't already booked some events, it's definitely time to start pushing it. And I've noticed a lot on Facebook lately where there's been people asking about, well, what do I wear? Can I see some pictures of your what you wear for a Santa event in July in Christmas in July? Most Santas don't wear, of course, the full garb. You can if you want to, but most places it's pretty warm to wear a complete Santa suit. So what I'm going to show you, I know this is kind of a weird thing to do, but I'm going to show you just some ideas that I'm sure most of you have done, but it just gives you some ideas. I know this starts from the very beginning, but get all kinds of socks. Get green ones if you're going to wear. Get red ones. Get silly socks. Santa can look colorful. It's okay. Start out. Make sure that he's wearing, especially if you're wearing knickers. Make sure you color coordinate your socks along with your with your let's go with your shoes. Of course, Santa shoes. Green, white. Yes, it's even got a little hat on it. And if you can't find something like that, these shoes are just wear a red gym shoe. There's no reason to wearing your Santa boot with the white toppers on there. Red shoes, or if you can find, and there's a lot of great ones now. What looks like a buckle on the top of the across the field, but shoes are also a fun thing to talk to children about because I just love this part on there because I have to show the children always then you officially know that it's a Santa shoe because it's got a hat on it. But always add a little bit of that. Of course, then what do we wear on our head? Do we wear the traditional, that's really not when it's 85 degrees, 90, 100 degrees, that's probably not the best thing to wear. Or if you're doing whatever, I've worn, well, because this time of year, I don't fully bleach. So I've come up, and there might be some Santas the same thing. I've come up with a Santa hat that I've put a cover on the back that it covers the back of my hair. I mean, I've got to tuck my hair in, and I will spray my beard and, of course, white for the eyebrows. So I do many summer events too, but I don't bleach during summer because of my other performances. I don't want to be bleached looking like Santa in July. But even Santas that don't fully bleach, just take a little spray, just take a little marker for your eyebrows. That's all you need to do. Same way with your hands. There's no reason in wearing gloves, either that, but I make sure that I always wear the Santa rings. It's also something kind of like the canes we talked about. It's something to talk about with the children. Wow, that's a cool ring. If it's that Santa ring, or if it's the one from Wade and them, whatever one you want to do, it's something more to talk about with the children. Since your hands are now no longer in gloves, your hands are showing, so rings should show also. It doesn't, we all know this is probably the most used Santa hat. I love it, but I took it one little further and bought a little iron-on logo that says Santa, and I put it on, ironed it on the back so they can see it. And you can wear something like this. Of course, it's a great summertime hat, especially if you want to have the golf look. I mean, the golf look is a fantastic look for the summer, which would be, I guess, the beret. I just love this beret. Thank you, Eric Mitten. Check. She was the wingnut actually made these. So wear something a little different like this. Wear something a little more fun on your head instead of the traditional Santa hat. It's like the sky's the limit when it comes to that. When it comes to clothing, I've done everything from just a white shirt, puffy sleeve, with the bow, the tie, SC, little dressier for a summertime look with knickers. Now, I think that's what they're called, is knickers, and they've got the little tassels on the side, and you wear them with green socks and the shoes, but it still has the Santa look. It still is the Santa pant, but they're shorts. They also work very good when it comes to if you want a golf look. I love this look myself. This is, I had this made a baseball jersey because they asked me to, I had to be an umpire. This was actually 2 years ago. And then I did it again at a movie, Summer with Santa with movie. I had a shirt made. This is I put it on one of the websites the other day. Of course, if you want to, where, of course, Spangle has just the regular shirt ready to go. It's a great Santa look. Of course, we all know the great Hawaiian shirt, a red shirt, but it's limitless how we can make our look still like Santa, but not like to tradition, like we're coming down the chimney. It's so much fun to put stuff together. What else do I got? I guess that's about it for clothing right at the moment. I got other shirts, but it's a fun time. It's a fun time to do the Santa, and all the things you do to perform there is the same thing. I love giving out the coins, because you can talk to them, and of course, a little bit more about the coins. Make sure you get them in your pillow, and they grow your dreams stronger as it gets closer to Christmas, and you can just make a complete story out of a coin then, and that's what Bob said earlier: backstory, fun story. But there's so many things, and I apologize, I'm not a good Mrs. Claus when it comes to what Mrs. Claus wears. I'm sure she's got Erica and Sean and all of them, and we've got a great list of wonderful things that Mrs. Claus, or this weekend when Deanna Golden talks about Mrs. Claus coming up, because I'm sure she does a lot of Christmas in July. But don't turn down Christmas in July. There's so much fun to get out there, and you just get so revved up because all of a sudden, man, I'm Santa and bringing smiles in July. I mean, it just helps. It just helps everything. So come up with a cool outfit, a baseball outfit. You can get a hockey jersey, of course. They're out there. You can buy the jerseys that have Santa on them and all that. So, but make it special just for you. Make it comfortable. Make it, of course, festive. So, just a reminder: don't turn down those summertime things. It's more money. The best part about it, it's more smiles, and that's the coolest thing. I've I think I've only got 3 so far booked, but I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait. I'm doing a baseball thing again. I just love the baseball thing. I gotta be an umpire at one, and I'm doing a movie. They're doing the Muppets Christmas Carol at another city, movie night in the city. So each time do wear something a little different. So, and I also have a pair of green pants I wear with sometimes a Hawaiian shirt, just if I want to wear pants. But man, don't give them up. Have fun, but just keep those colors in mind, that Santa look in mind, that class in line. Thank you again, as always, for letting me just ramble about stuff and everything else. But it's the best job in the world. Always remember that we are so blessed, so fortunate that we get to bring smiles and joy to everybody. And what other job does that, guys? What other job does that? Thank you very much. See ya.
Boy, now that's a lot for folks to think about there. And I'll tell you what, that is a lot of great examples of Christmas in July clothing right there. Love it, love it, love it. Great job as always, Randy. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and jump into nightcap. I'm going to kind of run over this real quick first. Little Blue Trucks Christmas is our book that we are presenting this week. It's only 24 pages, so it's one of those books that you can go 3 to 5 minutes on. Stretch it out if you want to, if you want to go into the pictures more so, because it is a board book, a picture book, and it's published by Clarion Books in English, and it's #1 bestseller in children's Christmas books. So let's roll the preview, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Cute. Very cute.
So the little blue truck, he delivers, the Christmas trees to his animal friends. And the highlight of the story is get to that last page, the Christmas tree actually lights up, which is really cool. Children love to see the lights on the tree. And again, great little storybook, great illustrations. Can't beat it. get out and get yourself one. Little Blue Trucks Christmas, 24 pages, easy, fun, and go good anywhere that you can read a short story.
That's
Just
my cup of tea. Them short stories. I like bringing the short stories. There's something about me.
absolutely.
It looks like great little. I love the illustrations. They look cute as can be.
Yeah, and that's the key to children is making sure that the illustrations are well and the children can get engaged and you can you can take a 3 to 5 minute story and stretch it to 7 to 10 minutes if you want to go into detail on the illustrations and the pages and things and get the children involved. So anyway, fun little book. Put it in your book bag, carry it out, have fun with it. And that's our highlight for the week.
Very cool. Wow.
Yes, sir. So what you got going on this afternoon, Randy?
This afternoon. Well, I hear the thunder out there again. Probably not a whole lot. I hear the thunder
Stay
outside,
inside,
so
stay dry.
I'm probably not going out now. And um,
I'm gonna go out and play in the sun and see if I can get some boards put up on the side of the house here. And we got rain coming tomorrow night, I think. So I need to try to get everything sealed back up this afternoon or early tomorrow.
yeah,
So
yeah, get it closed up as soon
yep,
as you can.
for sure.
I
All
need to
right.
get. I need to get on the roof. Well, I can't do it to get on the roof of the other house there and do some sealing, but I got to figure out who I'm going to get up on the roof. I tried to get the grandson up there last week, but um, he just was, he just couldn't get up on the top step. He still couldn't get up onto the roof. It was still too far. So
Those are tricky
I'll have to get my longer ladder. Then he'll be able to do it when he comes out.
to really be safe and careful when you're driving.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. So we just want to remind you free at 3 on Mondays. Drop by and see us again next week. We'll
Boom,
be right
boom,
here,
boom.
same time, same channel, doing
Remember,
our
not
thing.
just Mondays. Every day the TNL sponsors something live. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. They're all free, free, and free.
That's right. And we've broadened out and like I say, going to be doing some shows over, powered by TNL Productions over on Santa Mel's group, Santa's Magical Fellowship group. If you're not a member over there, jump over there and click invite or not invite, but join, I guess you would say, and become part of that so you can watch these new shows coming up. And as soon as we find out from the Kringle brothers their launch date, we'll let you know on that. So thanks everyone for showing up today. We hope you have a fabulous week. Stay out of the heat if you're in the south because it's going to be hot. Chance for rain, like I say, in the middle of the week. So cool things back down. That's what it is here. Good to see everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Randy.
Bye bye. Thank you, guys. Love you all.
Yeah.
Oh, next Monday. Remember Memorial Day next Monday. Ooh, barbecue.